Multiple winter storms are about to slam the United States from coast to coast. Heavy snow, severe weather, ice storms, and a temperature crash that will shock the entire nation. California just saw 2 feet of rainfall in 3 days. The ground is saturated, mudslides are already happening, and another system is moving in within the next 24 to 48 hours. But that's just the beginning. What's coming for the Great Lakes and Northeast will be even more intense. Here's what you need to know in the first 30 seconds. A bomb cyclone is forming. That's a technical term for a storm that intensifies explosively. By Monday afternoon, this system will bottom out to 972 millibars, just north and east of Michigan. That's hurricane-strength low pressure. In winter, and the snow totals, we're talking 12 to 24 inches. That's 1 to 2 feet of snow from the upper peninsula of Michigan into Ontario and western Quebec. The warm temperatures you're feeling right now are about to disappear. An Arctic front is coming, and when it arrives, temperatures could drop 30 degrees below normal. Let me show you exactly what's happening. West to east, multiple storm systems are traversing the country. Each one brings different threats, each one targets different regions, and they're all happening within days of each other. Starting with the West Coast. The past 3 days brought liquid precipitation across massive areas. The West Coast saw incredible rainfall. Southwestern California recorded about 2 feet of rain. Think about that. 2 feet of water falling from the sky in 72 hours. Saturated soil creates landslide conditions. When ground absorbs that much water, it loses stability. Hillsides that were solid become liquid. And we have more moisture moving in over the next 24 to 48 hours as low pressure sits across the west. At the same time, a winter storm is active across the mid-Atlantic, so we're dealing with threats on both coasts simultaneously. What happens next is critical. All that energy across the west is moving eastward through the plains. Eventually, a strong cyclone develops from the Great Lakes up into southeastern Canada. That's our next major winter storm heading into early next week. Let me break down the West Coast situation first. This evening, blue shows snow, green shows rain. As we move through the evening hours, watch how rain transitions to snow. Nighttime cooling drops temperatures, especially in higher elevations. That produces snow. Some of this snowfall will be heavy by daybreak Saturday. Saturday brings moisture across the Rockies from Montana southward, extending as far south as Arizona and New Mexico. Down in New Mexico, mostly liquid precipitation. But farther north, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, that's snow country. Heavy snow as we go through Saturday. Sunday morning continues the pattern, especially for the Colorado Rockies. Additional precipitation shows rainfall continuing through Sunday evening. The amounts aren't massive, but some areas see around 1/4 to 1/2 inch. That's on top of all those inches we just showed you. Already saturated soil, swollen creeks, streams, and rivers. Mudslide potential remains high. California, you need to stay vigilant. The Sierra Nevada mountains will see more snow, another 1 or 2 inches, the higher elevations. Eventually, this becomes a Rocky Mountain situation. Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado seeing a couple of feet of snow through the rest of the weekend. But here's where the story gets more dangerous. Another winter storm is tracking over the mid-Atlantic and Northeast right now. Blue shows snow. Darker blue indicates heavy snowfall rates of 1 inch per hour or more. In the pinks and purple, that's where sleet and freezing rain are setting up. Eastern and central Pennsylvania, central and southern New Jersey, the Poconos region in eastern Pennsylvania, icy threats continue through the evening. Eventually, this precipitation exits by daybreak or shortly after on Saturday morning. It departs off the East Coast. Maybe some leftover residual snow showers for Cape Cod, Boston, Long Island, and eastern Jersey. But by midday Saturday, moisture shuts off and cleanup begins. Here are the snowfall expectations. This is on top of what's already fallen. New York City area could see totals up to around 10 inches. Much of Long Island seeing 8 to 12 inches. Western Connecticut, 8 to 12 inches there. Up toward Albany and eastern New York, around 6 to 10 inches. The farther south and west you go, the colder air gets more shallow. Warm air from the south meets cold air from the north. That creates an icy mix for portions of Pennsylvania, western New York, extending into Maryland and southern Jersey. A light glaze up to a quarter of an inch of ice is possible. Once you reach 2/10 to a quarter inch of ice, you're talking about treacherous, hazardous travel. We could see scattered power outages as ice weighs down trees and power infrastructure. Those power lines become vulnerable. Watch this closely over the next couple hours. Now let me explain what's really happening meteorologically. Saturday, as that system moves offshore into the Atlantic, more energy from the west comes in. That's producing all the snow in the Rockies over the next 24 hours. A big low-pressure cyclone is going to bottom out very quickly. This is what meteorologists call a bomb cyclone. It's low pressure that loses pressure rapidly. The system strengthens dramatically. By Monday afternoon, this drops to 972 millibars, just north and east of Michigan and Ontario. That's a powerful winter storm bringing many impacts. Let's talk specifics. Saturday shows heavy snowfall for the Rockies. Going into Sunday, we start seeing low pressure gather at 992 millibars in northwestern Illinois. Rainfall appears underneath the center of that low as warm, moist air from the Gulf transitions from south to north. Colder air comes in on the backside. This is an Arctic front. It will transition rain to snow. Wisconsin, especially eastern and northeastern Wisconsin, could get significant snow. Eau Claire over toward Green Bay, maybe Milwaukee for a time. Especially the upper peninsula of Michigan with lake enhancement from Lake Superior, heavy snow of 1 to 3 inches per hour is possible. That transitions up into portions of Canada. Then we get backwash, snow showers, and snow squalls on the backside with lake effect enhancement. On the warm side, we're watching for severe weather potential. The transition zone shows pink, where ice could develop for a time before transitioning to snow as deeper cold air enters the system. And this system is strong. Wind forecasts are significant for early next week. Wind gusts over 50 miles per hour are expected. Late this weekend, going into the following week, we're discussing multiple winter storms. This second one could produce anywhere from 12 to 24 inches of snow. That's 1 to 2 feet potentially from the upper peninsula of Michigan into Ontario and western Quebec. Lake enhancement will add to snow totals, including Buffalo, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, and Watertown, New York. Those traditional lake effect areas. On the warm side, severe weather is a concern. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has introduced a marginal risk of severe weather. This includes much of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, western Tennessee, parts of Missouri, Arkansas, and northern Mississippi. The potential exists for isolated severe thunderstorms. Best chance is for damaging winds and hail. Tornado threat remains low, but moisture fetch from the Gulf brings rising dew points into the 50 seconds all the way up into the Ohio Valley, maybe as far north as southern Michigan as the system strengthens. This creates instability. This time of year, instability is typically weak, but it doesn't take much. Wind shear in the upper levels is significant. Our low-level jet and mid-level jet work together, producing considerable wind shear. There's tremendous wind energy with this system. This could generate organizing severe weather. Sunday morning, thunderstorms and rumbles of thunder may develop across northern Illinois back into Iowa and northern Missouri. Sunday afternoon brings those thunderstorms crossing through Chicagoland, then strengthening south and east from Chicago as the sharp Arctic front arrives. Cold air clashes with warm, moist, humid air. That creates a squall line of strong thunderstorms, producing mainly a wind threat with some hail. Tornado threat will be more confined to kinks on the leading edge of the line or any supercell thunderstorms developing ahead of the main line. Current temperatures this evening show mild trends across the lower 48, much above normal temperatures, colder air in western Canada. That Arctic front pulls down dramatically as we move into the 29th and 30th of December and early this week. This makes its way all the way down to the Gulf Coast and down to North Florida with below normal temperatures. We could see temperatures 30 degrees below normal. Once we reach the new year, we moderate again. But the system cranking and occluding up in Canada produces northwesterly flow on the backside over deep snowpack in Canada. This delivers colder air as we approach the new year. Speaking of the new year, the system could do a Fujiwara effect. You see this sometimes with hurricanes. One low-pressure system and another low-pressure system dance around each other. We could see this near Hudson Bay. This only enhances the colder air in that northwesterly flow. Look at the high pressure, 1029 to 1034 millibars, up in southern Canada and northern US. That promises cold air. We could see 40 degrees below normal temperature anomalies for Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, northern Great Lakes region, and into New England as we go into New Year's Day. Wind chills are dangerous. 40 to 60 below zero up in central Canada. If you don't cover exposed skin and dress in layers, frostbite can settle in less than 15 minutes with wind chills that cold. If you're going to the big ball drop in New York City, wind chills will be in the teens and low 20 seconds. Bundle up as the clock strikes midnight. Now let me explain something critical about preparation. When meteorologists talk about wind chill, we're discussing how cold your skin actually feels. Your body creates a thin layer of warm air around your skin. Wind strips that away. The stronger the wind, the faster you lose heat. At -20 wind chill, exposed skin gets frostbite in 30 minutes. At -40, frostbite happens in 10 minutes. At -60, frostbite occurs in under 5 minutes. Frostbite starts with numbness. You might not feel it happening. White or grayish skin is the first visible sign. If you see that, get inside immediately. Don't rub the area. Warm it gradually with body heat or lukewarm water. Never hot water. That causes more damage. Hypothermia is even more dangerous. Shivering, confusion, slurred speech, drowsiness. If someone shows these signs, they need medical help immediately. While waiting, move them to a warm area. Remove wet clothing and warm the center of their body first. Chest, neck, head, and groin. Layer your clothing properly. Cotton kills in cold weather. Cotton holds moisture. When you sweat, it stays wet. And wet clothing pulls heat from your body. Wool and synthetic fabrics wick moisture away. Base layer, insulation layer, outer shell. As we move into January, blocking at high latitudes toward Russia and over the Arctic Circle will plunge low-pressure tracks farther south and unleash colder air week by week through January. Week 1, the 1st through the 8th, shows the lower 48 seeing some cold shots. Not hugely significant, but some cold air. Week 2, the 8th through the 15th, the west gets colder. The east moderates slightly. Week 3 brings that colder air from out west eastward with considerable staying power. The magnitude of cold air by week 3 could be strong, from the 15th through around the 22nd. Week 4 shows mostly eastern US and southern Canada cold. It moderates as we reach the end of the month. Snowfall forecast between now and about Super Bowl weekend shows interesting suggestions. Look how far south some snows could reach as colder air arrives, especially by the 3rd week of January. Texas, maybe through the Dixie Alley. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, the Carolinas, Virginia, many southern states could get snow, but heaviest snow remains across the Great Lakes, upper Midwest, southeastern Canada, and New England. Week 1 shows snowfall farther north. Week 2 brings snow farther south, especially out west where the Rockies are. Southern Rockies could get decent snows. Week 3 shows southern snow possibilities. Maybe not all the way to the Gulf Coast like last year, but definitely snow chances farther south. The last week features mountain snow out west. Northwesterly clippers across southern Canada and northern US dominate the last week of January. Now, let me walk you through preparation steps. Power outages are likely with this much ice and wind. Generator safety is critical. If you have a generator, test it today. Make sure you have fuel. Run it for 10 minutes to confirm it works. Check oil level. Never run a generator indoors. Not in your garage. Not in your basement. Carbon monoxide kills silently. Run it outside at least 20 feet from windows and doors. Exhaust needs to vent away from your house. Stock non-perishable foods, canned goods, protein bars, peanut butter, crackers. Keep bottled water on hand, a gallon per person per day minimum, 3 days worth at minimum. Your vehicle needs winter prep. Check your battery. Cold cranking amps matter in extreme cold. A marginal battery in fall won't start at 5 below zero. Antifreeze needs proper ratio. Check windshield washer fluid. Regular fluid freezes around 20 degrees. You need winter formula rated to -20 or colder. Keep your gas tank at least half full. If you get stranded, you need fuel to run the engine for heat. A full tank prevents moisture from condensing inside, which can freeze fuel lines. Emergency kit in your vehicle. Blankets, flashlight, first aid kit, water, snacks, phone charger, jumper cables, small shovel, bag of sand or kitty litter for traction. When driving in winter weather, four-wheel drive helps you go. It doesn't help you stop. Every vehicle has four-wheel brakes. On ice, nothing helps. Leave triple the normal following distance. Accelerate gently. Brake gently. Steer gently. Sudden movements break traction. Bridges freeze before roads. They have cold air underneath and above, so they get colder faster. Slow down even more on bridges and overpasses. For your home, let faucets drip. Moving water is harder to freeze than still water. Open cabinet doors under sinks so warm air circulates around pipes. If you have an attached garage, keep the door closed. That provides extra insulation. Reverse ceiling fans. Heat rises, so flip the switch to make them spin clockwise. That pushes warm air down from the ceiling. Close curtains at night. Windows are where most heat escapes. Curtains add insulation. Open them during the day for sunlight, close them at night. Shoveling snow in extreme cold is dangerous. Cold makes your heart work harder. Physical exertion makes your heart work harder. Combine them, and heart attacks spike during snow removal. If you must shovel, take frequent breaks. Push snow instead of lifting when possible. If you lift, bend your knees, not your back. Small loads, multiple trips. Watch for warning signs. Chest pain, shortness of breath, pain radiating to your arm or jaw. Those are heart attack symptoms. Stop immediately and call for help. Check on elderly neighbors. They're most vulnerable to cold. A friendly knock could save a life. Make sure they have heat, food, and medicine. Scripture offers guidance even in winter's fury. In Psalm 147, verses 16 through 18, we read, "He gives snow like wool, he scatters frost like ashes. He hurls down his crystals of ice like crumbs. Who can stand before his cold? He sends out his word and melts them. He makes his wind blow and the waters flow. God controls the weather. He commands the snow and ice. He also provides warmth and relief. When winter storms come, we prepare with wisdom and rest in faith. The same God who sends the storm also protects us through it. His word reminds us that even in the harshest winter, spring will come. The ice will melt. The waters will flow again. This season is temporary. His faithfulness is eternal. Preparation is an act of stewardship. God gave us brains to assess danger and take appropriate action. Using that gift honors him. We don't fear the storm, we respect it and prepare accordingly. As these multiple systems traverse the country, each one brings its own challenges. The West Coast deals with rain and mountain snow. The Rockies see feet of accumulation. The Mid-Atlantic and Northeast face ice and heavy snow. The Great Lakes region prepares for a bomb cyclone. And behind it all, Arctic air masses dive south, bringing dangerous cold. This is the pattern for late December, extending into January. Multiple waves, multiple threats, each one requiring attention and preparation. The meteorological setup is clear. High latitude blocking forces, low pressure systems on a southern track, Arctic air spills south with each system. Moisture from the Gulf collides with that cold air. The result is winter weather at its most intense. Understanding the pattern helps you prepare. This isn't one storm and done. This is a persistent pattern that could last weeks. Each system in the pattern brings similar threats: snow, ice, wind, cold. Your preparation today determines your safety tomorrow. Don't wait, don't minimize, don't assume it won't affect you. Stock up now, check equipment now, Make plans now, because when the next system arrives, it will be too late. All glory goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. May His protection cover you through every storm in this dangerous pattern. The systems are forming, the pattern is locked, the Arctic air is coming, and multiple rounds of winter weather will test us all. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, stay safe, and don't miss the next update as these systems develop and move across the country, because the most intense part of this pattern is still ahead of us.